This, in my opinion, is the most overrated MacBook for a lot of reasons. I see so many people saying that the MacBook Pro 2015 is the best Mac that ever came out and the last good Apple product that Apple ever made. That's not the case. So first, the number one thing that people say this computer did properly was the ports. It did have an extra port over the 2022s, or 2021s I mean. This had USB-A. USB-A is over 20 years old. It's pretty slow, and I don't know why people like using it. There is really no reason to use USB-A unless it's some sort of old device that needs to be connected or a mouse. USB-C does everything better. Data transfer, charging speed, just general connectivity with USB-C is better than USB-A. So people just want this because it worked with their old stuff. I went out and bought this flash drive today, and it has USB-C, and on the other end, it still has USB-A. I think the only reason people use USB-A is because it's what they have. And I get that to an extent. Eventually, USB-C is going to take over. So why buy a computer with an already 20 years outdated USB platform? Now, the second thing is the keyboard. People say this has the best keyboard. I think the people who say that have never used a M1 Pro or M2 Pro, M3 Pro even, MacBook Pro. The latest generation MacBook Pros have a better keyboard. The 2019 MacBook Pro, when they got rid of the butterfly keyboard, had a better keyboard. The 2015's keyboard is just okay. The only reason that people tend to like this keyboard so much is because this was what came before butterfly keyboard. It was more reliable, and it felt better than butterfly keyboard for a lot of people. I get that, but we're not on butterfly keyboard anymore. There's been a lot of improvements made to the Apple keyboard since then. If I'm being honest, this keyboard was only okay. It was the base standard for what I'd expect from a MacBook Pro. Not bad, but not amazing. There's better keyboards out there. Pretty good for a laptop, though. I'm going to say this, it still does hold up. But another thing that people liked about this computer was actually the display. But the bezels on this are looking kind of thick now. This display is decent though. 15-inch Retina display, all that. Good display. Now, another thing that everybody just tends to like about these computers for whatever reason is the upgradability. But what a lot of people tend to exaggerate is how much you can upgrade on this, because the only thing that I believe is upgradable is the SSD. The RAM is soldered onto the board. The GPU is soldered onto the board. CPU is soldered onto the board. And it just doesn't make sense to me why people bring up upgradability. How many times is somebody going to upgrade an SSD? I guess it is socketed. That's technically an upgrade over the new MacBook Pros, even though this SSD is way slower than the new MacBook Pros. I don't know how people say that this is the best Mac ever made, because, quite honestly, it was just okay. I'm not saying this is a bad computer. I'm just saying it's overrated. Because this was a MacBook Pro, it's what everybody would expect, a good computer overall. But the 2021 generation of MacBook Pros just does everything better. It has better ports, it has better performance, better keyboard, better display, better battery. Everything is better about the new MacBook Pros. So this is not Apple's best computer that they ever made. It was just a typical MacBook Pro from the era when they did everything properly. Because from 2016 to 2019, I think a lot of people can agree on this. Apple just did not know what they were doing with the MacBook Pros. People who say this is the best MacBook Pro ever, is it just because of one port? If not, then I'm definitely missing something about this machine. I got this on eBay with the intent to resell it, and I'm still going to, but I decided to use it for a little while before reselling it. And my last thing that I want to note, this runs macOS Monterey from 2021. macOS Sonoma came out, so this is 2 versions out of date because macOS Ventura from 2022 replaced Monterey. So it's not like this computer is fully up to date unless a patcher is used. Nobody is going to want to use a patcher unless they're a tech enthusiast or just really want to get every bit out of their computer. If you're doing that and you know how to do a patcher, you're probably a tech enthusiast. So with that said, thank you for watching this video. That was probably a really controversial opinion, just saying this computer's overrated, because I've seen a lot of people say this is the greatest Apple product ever. But hopefully this video was entertaining or enjoyable, so goodbye.